Hello and welcome to this lecture, and in this lecture we are going to go ahead and create the menu activity for our client. So without wasting any time, let's go ahead, go to app, let's create a new activity which is going to be called as menu activity. Click finish, and this activity is going to be of the type recycler view. So essentially we are going to have a recycler view in which we are going to have small cards, and each card is going to hold up information for each of the menu item which we want. So even before creating the menu over here, what you need to do is that you need to go ahead and add dependency for the card view and recycler view. So for that you need to go to file, go to project structure, and after that you actually need to go to app, go to dependencies and add a dependency which is a library dependency, and search for card view. Click this icon right here, and this is the dependency which we are looking for. So simply select this thing and click OK, and the card view dependency should be added. Now after that we also need a dependency for recycler view as well. So let's search for recycler view and click this icon right here, and the dependency which we are looking for is this dependency which says com.android.support recycler view v7. So simply hit OK and we should be good to go. So simply click OK, and hopefully the project files sync well. And after that what we essentially want to do is that we want to create a single layout for displaying each single menu item. So what we want to do is that in the recycler view we want to have multiple layouts for each and every item. So first we are going to create that single layout which we want. So for now let's go ahead and create a layout once this thing completely syncs up. So give it a little bit of time and we should be good to go. Okay, so as you could see, now everything is synced up perfectly. So now what you need to do is that you need to go to resources, layout, and in here let's create a new layout resource file, and let's name this thing as something. Let's name this thing as single menu item, let's assume. So we will type in single menu item and click OK, and the layout should be created for us. And in here what we will do is that we will keep it as linear layout and the orientation as vertical, and in here we are going to add in a card view. So simply type in card view, and the card view is going to be entered for you. So now the width of this card view is going to be match parent, and let's say we assume the height to be 300 dps, which would be sufficient to display each and every piece of information for a particular food item. So once this thing is done, inside the card layout or inside the card view itself, what we will do is that we will create another layout which is going to be a relative layout with width as match parent, and let's say the height is going to be 120 dp. And in this relative layout we are going to place our elements. Okay, so once this thing is done we are good to go. So now the next thing which we need to do is that we need to go ahead and add up an image button here or an image view over here. So we will type in image view, and the image view's width is going to be, let's say, 100 dp, and the height is going to be 100 dps as well. So this is basically the thing which we are using for displaying the image of the food item. So let's say if you add in a pizza over here, we should be able to see a pizza over here which is in the square shape or the square image view right here. So now once this thing is done, let's set up an ID to this. So let's say we type in ID equals, let's say @+id food image, and after that let's set some background for it. So what I'm going to do here is that I already have the pizza's image over here, so I'm going to copy this image, go back to Android Studio, I'm going to paste it in the drawable folder over here. Let's name it as pizza1. So this is basically the temporary image. We are actually going to get an image from the database, but just so as to confirm how the layout looks, we are going to add in a background image. So we will set background equals, that's going to be @drawable pizza1. So as you could see, now the image is successfully set and it looks pretty much beautiful, you could say. And now let's go ahead and add in a text view for the name. So that's going to be wrap content and wrap content, and we are going to place it in right next to this. So let's give it some text, let's say pizza. So I'm going to type in text equals pizza And after that, let's set the text size because we want to make it a little bit better or bigger. So text size is equal to, let's say, 12 dps, and I guess that should be okay. Oh no, I guess that should be 30 dps. And now let's basically align it to the right. So you could also do it from the design view as well. So you could select this and drag it and drop it over here. So I guess we are not able to do that yet. So what we will do here is that we will set the to right of, and we want to set it equal to right of the food image. So as you could see, now it's perfectly aligned. Now let's also change the color to, let's say, complete black. That would look better. So what we will do is that we will type in text color, and that should be hash 000000. And also let's set up some margin from the top. So that's going to be margin top equals 12 dps. So as you could see, it looks much better now. So once this thing is done, we are pretty much good to go. So now let's go ahead and add in the text view for the description as well. So that's going to be text view, that's going to be wrap content and wrap content. And what we want to do is that we want to basically set up the text view to the right of this pizza, which is the pizza image. So we will type in to right of and @ id, that's going to be the food image. So as you could see, it is set to right, and also we need to set it below to this text view. So let's also assign the ID to this particular text view. So let's say that's going to be food name. So we want to set it to the bottom of food name. So we will type in layout below, and that's going to be @ id, which is food name. So as you could see, now it's set to bottom, and now let's assign it some value. Let's say the text is going to be equal to Italian pizza with extra cheese. Okay, so as you could see, now we have our description over here, and I guess we should have a little bit of margin from the right if you actually want. So we will type in margin from the left. So that's going to be, let's say, 5 dps, and that looks much appropriate. So as you could see, now our layout looks pretty much ready. And now the final thing which you need to do is that you also need to add in a final text view for displaying the price over here. So we'll go ahead, create another text view, and the layout width is going to be wrap content for the height as well. Let's set the text to, let's say, $12, and we will assign it to right of property, and we'll set it to the right of this description. So let's first assign an ID to this description. So that's going to be @ id food desc for description. So to right of @ id slash, and that's going to be @ id slash, and it's going to be to the right of description, which is food description. And as you could see, it's aligned to the right, but we also want to align it to the bottom of this name, which is pizza. So we will type in layout below and set it equal to @ id, that is going to be food name. And also let's leave some margin from the left. So we will type in margin left equals, let's say, 10 or let's say 20 dps. So as you could see, now we have a margin as well. Now let's go ahead and set the size. So we will type in text size, and we will set the text size to, let's say, 20 dps, which looks appropriate. And also let's set this thing to bold because we want it to look a little bit bolder. So we will type in text style and set it equal to bold. And the final thing which we do is that we also set the color. So I've actually chosen a green color for the dollar amount. So let me just quickly copy the color and paste it over here. So that's 4CAF50 for the color, and make sure to include a hash before. So as you could see, our layout looks pretty much ready. So this is what our layout looks like, and if you want, you could make adjustments to it. And as a developer, it's always better to hire a professional designer for your application so that he could give you proper margin amounts for the each and every item on this thing. So right now we will keep it as it is, and if we want we will make modifications later, but for now let's go ahead and go to the next step of our tutorial, that is basically to go ahead and create a food class. So the reason why we need food class is because what we want to do is that we want to go ahead and extract the name, price, image values from the database, and we want to set it equal to a recycler view. So for that, what we will do is that we will go ahead, create a new Java class, and that's going to be, let's say, food. So click OK, and the class will be created for you. So this class is going to have a set of variables in terms of string. So string name, price, image, and description. So these are the 4 things which we are looking for. And the next thing which we do is that we also set up a constructor for this. So we will type in public food, and after this let's set this equal to an empty constructor, and let's also set up a parameterized constructor for this. So that's going to be public food, and in here let's pass in string name, comma string price, comma string image, comma string description, and let's set the value for each of them. So this dot name is going to be equal to name, this dot description is going to be equal to description, this dot price is going to be equal to price, and finally this dot image is going to be equal to image. So once we are done with this, let's also add the getters and setters method quickly. Okay, so once this thing is done, we are pretty much good to go. So now the next thing which we want to do is that we want to go ahead in the main menu activity, which is the menu activity over here, and we want to create a recycler view over here. So in the next lecture what we will do is that we will go ahead and set up a recycler view over here, and we will basically assign it to the food class which we have created right now, so that we could actually get values from the database. So that's it for this lecture, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.